Hey everyone, my name is Siobhan Evans-Egan. I'm a spiritual psychic medium and shamanic practitioner. So I'm also an admin on the International Mediumship page where I'll be posting this video. The International Mediumship page is a community of developing psychic mediums, healers, and we all work together helping each other on this path. So as an admin, I sometimes ask if there's any questions that come up that I might be able to help towards their development, things they might be facing, and challenges they might be facing in that sense. So everything that I speak about and talk about is only from my own experience. It's only from things that I've worked through these challenges and how it helped me. So if you can resonate and it helps you, then brilliant. But you are your own unique self, and each one of you will have your own unique way of working. And it's like take what you need to take if it helps, or and release the rest. So one of the questions was a lady called Kate, and she said, how to handle when a sitter doesn't recognize or identify the spirit. Now, Kate wrote this as in this was in a practice reading. So, because we're on the international page, the members and they might be in training or classes or courses, and they have practice one-to-one readings or group sittings. So this occurred in a practice sitting. So I'm going to talk about this through the thing of how to handle this as a reader, okay, approaching this. And because it's a practice in a practice environment, I am approaching it from that sense. So first of all, I kind of said to Kate about keeping your statements short and not compound statements. So I'm going to talk about that first of all. So when you're in a practice sitting, okay, and you're going to practice, everyone firstly assumes it's going to be a mediumship reading. And most of the time it is. But when you're in the practice reading, if you're not doing a course and your tutor or mentor is not giving you an exercise to stick by, that's fine. If this is something that a practice time that you set up for yourself, then let's create the environment in which that begins. First of all, it's very important to feel that you're already linked into it in the power. A lot of the times we jump into things and we don't give ourselves the chance or the time to really sit and to feel that we have linked in, okay, and connected. And if you need to sit there in silence for 3 or 4 minutes to do that, then you do that. It's practice. It's using the time for you to get comfortable before we jump. So second thing would be how we start off with our statements and the information in which we give. So I've heard this a lot of times, and I'm sure I've done this plenty of times when I started. So let's talk about information that you might receive a no to or a misunderstanding to. So it could start off simply as, I have a lady here with me. This lady's a lovely lady. She's very kind. She's tall. She's brown hair. She's blue eyes. She has a lovely laugh. She's very kind. I think she feels she's passed with cancer, and I think she or not think, never put think. I sense she lived on a farm, and she was married. Okay, now you could say that to someone. That's five statements in one big blurt. So the person could be sitting there. They could know a lady on a farm. They don't know the rest. Okay, the information is very vague. Okay, so it could be anybody, it could be nice lady, anything. But the two kind of things that stick out there are the cancer, the lady, and the farm. Okay, so if the person across from you says no, then this is why I keep it to about 3 or 4 statements, because if you're after giving out about 6, 7, 8 statements of information, and when you receive a no, you automatically assume it's all wrong, and we drop. So it's important for us to turn around and go, okay, so because it's in a practice, I'm going to work with what can you take from that information in which I gave you. Okay, so they could say, well, I can take a lady with cancer. I can't take any of the rest of it. Okay, fine. So you work with that. Okay, now keeping it short, you could turn around and go, okay, I have your mother in spirit. She has cancer, blah, blah. My mother is not dead. Okay, relationship is wrong. So the reason why I'm saying that is that you can, because you're in a practice environment, you can work through those statements to what feels true and what was wrong, and say, okay, so I do have a lady in spirit. You do recognize someone in spirit world who's passed through cancer. Okay, so work with this. So when you recognize this lady that, she had a lovely laugh, whatever. Yeah, okay, I can take that. That's grand. And you kind of continue, because you get yeses, and once you get a yes, it's like your confidence builds, and you kind of the energy flows and you go with it. But when you're getting a nose, this is the challenge. So this is how you have to learn to handle this in a reading, to still keep in the power, still keep in the link, and still keep your energy up. Even inside when you're cringing, going, oh my God, where have I gone wrong? And we go straight into our heads. So we drop power and straight into our heads to figure out where we've gone with the information and what was wrong. So keep it short, keep it sweet. Obviously, evidence. If we just go, I have a lady in spirit and she's nice, anybody. So it's to work through what you have. And when you get a no, okay, so they can take a lady, they can take the cancer, but they can't take the farm, they can't take any of that. So what happens after that, sometimes, I'm just going to talk about things that come up, is the fact, what if the farm continues to come up? Go, no, I keep getting this farm. I really do. I can't, I keep seeing this farm. She's like, no, can't take the farm. No. So, okay. So because we're in the practice, would you mind if I continue to work with this and allow this to come up? Because we could assume if it's a farm, the person the lady in spirit could have visited a farm, their sister could have a farm. So there could be other ways. So because you need to trust, when the information keeps returning and keeps coming up, it's very relevant. Okay, it is important. So that's just how to start off with. Keep your statement short and sweet, with evidence, of course. And so to recognize when you get a no. So if they say, yes, I can take a lady, and I can understand that, okay, it's important for us to really go, okay, so I want to keep your mind open, because I feel I'm getting this. You could have two people, and you're not going to know that when you first start, because it's going to come in all different, and they could just be focusing on one person. So it's very important for us as the reader to understand that could be happening also. You could be having two people, or three people, four people, it doesn't matter, and you're just getting the information. So it's how to handle it. First of all, starting off, is to keep your statement short with evidence, to understand first of all what you got the no for. I have heard people loads of times giving out about 10 bits of information, 10 full sentences, all about this person. And then when you get a no, as I said, you're going to assume it's all wrong. But then they have to work through all these bits in order to figure out where they went wrong. So Kate did say that she kept the statement short and sweet. So that's okay. So she's done that, and she's still receiving a no. I would ask, would you understand someone living in your life with this information? Always ask that too, if you feel, because this is a practice. So it could be relevant to the person in front of you. Okay? So I'm just working through my head there. Okay. So when we get a no, we drop the information without exploring why. So as I said, because you're in a practice environment, a practice sense, this is supposed to be a safe place to you. This is a place where you use this practice to get it wrong. It's great getting it right. It's brilliant getting it right, and it feels fabulous to get it right. But the learning comes with getting a no. It comes through a whole load of experience. So thank you, Spirit, and thank your Spirit for making this difficult for you. And thank you for the person that you read for bringing this up to make it difficult for you, so that you can get, in a sense, prepared for when things are difficult, and to learn to handle that with grace of when it's not right. If that happened in a professional reading and someone is paying for it, I would just stop it straight off. I wouldn't even continue. Even if I keep getting no's and no's and no's for absolutely everything I'm given, and even when it feels really true for me, and if I don't feel I'm in the space to be allowed to explore that, I would go, I'm very sorry, this is not working right now. And I would leave it. I give 10 minutes in my readings, and if after 10 minutes I feel I'm getting absolutely nowhere and nothing's making sense, I accepted that it's either something going on within myself that I'm making, or the person's just not ready. I don't wreck my head about it. I really don't. And I hope you don't do the same. But I hope you do learn to recognize within your soul what felt true from that reading and what didn't. What information kept repeating itself and what didn't. So that you know from the next time when something keeps repeating and keeps coming back. It's up. I had a lady before, and I said to her, I want to talk about a wooden box that your mother had. And she kept everything, all wedding memories and kind of everything in it. And she has this box, and it's like it's under her bed. No, she refused to accept that information. And so I went on to other things and I got loads of other information, but I kept coming back to this box. I said, I'm sorry, but I'm going to leave this with you because it feels so true to me. If I'm wrong, I'll accept I'm wrong, but I'm just going to leave that information with you because this box is very important. And she went, oh, I know what it is. I know what it is. My man had a box with all the memories from my wedding, but her sister got it or her dad got it. Someone had it and she was supposed to get it. So it was just out of her memory. So a lot of the times, sometimes readers, it's just having psychic amnesia. It's just like they just not clicking with the information. And we have to accept that happens as well. I'm a medium and I get readings done for me. And I have sat there in front of them going, no, I can't take that. No, no, no. And then I go, oh my God, I do. So it does happen. So how to learn to accept that as the reader and how to handle that is to accept it gracefully and just to learn to go, I really feel I was right about that. I really, really do. But do you know what? I accept it. So the fact that you didn't get anything, as you said, you feel you didn't get anything right within that reading. As I said, you have to be kind to yourself. You have to kind of understand, okay, put your big girl panties on and get ready for your next practice. Don't let this stop you. Don't build a wall for this. What you do with spirit is go, okay, spirit, work with me on this. Let this happen again so that I can understand and work through this wall of what's happening. But please do remember that you're in it because you're in a practice environment. You can say to the person, okay, you remind them, okay, so I'm in a practice. So I'm going to practice on this. I'm going to work through. I don't mind receiving no's, but I'm going to work through understanding where I've gone wrong and why I'm receiving them. Is that okay with you? And they'll go, yeah, sure. And you'll find they're really helpful. So turn the practice into a real practice and understand and go through what it's the thing is what happens is in a practice, and when we get no's, as I said, we go straight into our head. So maybe allow the practice to relink. Completely relax yourself, completely relax your mind, and allow the spirit person again to come forward. If you have to do that 3 or 4 times in a practice reading, you do that 3 or 4 times in a practice reading. That is your space. So really use it for the practice. So as I said, how to handle it. There are no set answers to why sometimes readings don't work. Everyone is going to have different reasons and different reasons why it's the medium, it's the thing. But it's not that. It's to learn how to still trust yourself when that's going wrong, to trust yourself in that situation, trust yourself that you can handle it. So if it's not working, as I said, if that was in a professional reading, you'd stop the reading. Honestly, you would not continue it. So if it's in a practice and this comes up again, use it. Speak to the person and go, okay, I'm actually coming up against this board, so I'm just going to work with this. So I am going to ask questions, and I'm not asking questions in order to, so you can feed me the information. I'm asking this so I can understand where I've gone wrong. So you create a safe space in order for you to do that, and so that you can relax. And it's like taking your power back. It's taking your power back, but you're taking back control in the sense of the reading and where it's gone wrong and understanding where it's gone wrong. So if you have to go back over those 3 statements, if you have to go back over that, and you only end up doing that through the whole reading, that's okay because you're working through it. But please do be aware, and Kate, I really do want you to think about this. What information kept returning? What information kept coming back up over and over where you're like, oh, I just keep getting that. Why is that? And write it down and really recognizing your soul, the difference of that information, what felt true and compared to the other information. And that might help in a sense of where where you've gone wrong in a sense, but it's trusting that. It's you could have gave 5, 6 different statements, and maybe one bit of evidence in that was something that felt really true. And that's where you trust the next time you work with that piece. Okay? Even if she said no, but it keeps coming back up like the farm. Oh, I keep getting the farm. I'm on a farm. I know I'm on a farm. So it's like to work with that. So trust, trust, trust. And this is development. Mediumship and psychic development is not a walk in the park. It's difficult. You will feel crushed half the time. Your confidence will be knocked. As I said, it's not just about getting yeses. Get up, get brave, and want no's. Look forward to getting a no, because then you'll get curious and work through it. And because you're not getting paid and it's not professional reading, now is your opportunity to really work through those blocks in which stand in your way. And that is the gift of practice. So I hope this has helped. I know it's not giving you a magic wand to exactly why it's happened, because it has to come from your own understanding and your own experience of what felt true and what didn't. And I can't tell you that because I was not there in that time to experience it for you. So I'm only kind of speaking from my own sense of what I've learned over the years of, we don't sit in the power long enough. We don't sit in the energy. We don't let it work up. We don't do those things a lot of the time when we're doing practice. And in practice, we just assume it's going to be medium reading. And then we assume that the person that we're reading for, because we're practicing, they're going to be lovely. Not all the time. So there's a whole load of things, but it comes down to trust. Trust what felt true. Trust what felt right. And knowing the next times when something keeps returning, go with your short statements. I don't just mean I have a lady have cancer. Could be anybody. But about 3 or 4 statements with evidence, in a sense that if you were in a room of 100 people, that you would get a few hands and then you can work through it, especially because you're in a practice. So be true to yourself, be kind to yourself, and really honor the fact, as I said, it's practice for a reason. You're not meant to be perfect. You're just meant to understand what felt true to me and what didn't feel true. Because sometimes I've been in courses and they've done exercises where the sitter has to say no to absolutely everything. And it's a brilliant way to learn to what feels true and what keeps coming back up. So you could use a practice the next time for the person to say no to absolutely everything, so that you could practice what feels true and do that for 5 minutes with the person saying no, no, no. And then you go, okay, so now I'm going to stop that and I'm going to say to you what feels true to me. I did feel this and I did feel that, and work through that. So use the practice as a practice, and that's what it's meant for. It's not meant for to be absolutely brilliant. It's to learn to work through the crap and the obstacles that stop us and get in our way. And that's exactly what they're for. It's an opportunity for growth. So enjoy the experience instead of being frightened of the experience and not liking it. Honor what felt true to you and really ask yourself what felt true. And as I said, in your practices, if you can ask someone to just say no to everything that they receive for the first few minutes, so that you could even have a pen, write down what feels true and to go back to that with the person, so that you can recognize that within your soul, what felt true. Okay? Hope that helps. Take care, guys.